Welcome to the Pickleball Recovery Podcast, where we highlight products and practices to help you feel better faster, so you can spend less time stiff, sore, and injured, and more time on the court doing what you love. This podcast is sponsored by AlloMD. Don't just mask pain, eliminate it. AlloMD provides intense relief and advances continual repair for both acute injuries and chronic pain. All-natural, patented technology developed by doctors to get you back in the game fast without the use of opioids, steroids, or NSAIDs. AlloMD, harnessing the power of pure natural ingredients that provide deep, penetrating repair. Patented, validated, natural. Learn more at www.allomd.com and make sure to use the discount code PBR at checkout to save $5 off your order. What's up? Hey, welcome to Pickleball Recovery. It's your host, Tim Ringgold. How you doing? Are you playing pickleball? Are you getting out there? I hope so. I just got back from TOC, Tournament of Champions, up in Utah, where I had the great fortune to finally meet a stud, absolute legend named Frank Davis. And Frank runs a company called Optivida Health. And Cali Smith had told me about them way back in January and had given me a couple of their products actually to check out. And wow is all I can say. Wait until you hear this interview. It's going to blow you away. He's going to break things. It's the only way I know how to describe what's coming. So just like strap in, like buckle up, get ready. Yeah. And their products are just phenomenal products. I sampled them while I was up in Utah. I just ordered my first pack of stuff after having sampled them from Cali and while I was at the tournament. Phenomenal stuff. If you like what they do and you want to check out their stuff as well, you'll go to optividahealth.com and you'll use the code PBR at checkout to save 10% on your order. You'll hear us kind of work that out in real time at the end of the interview. It's kind of funny. So with that, just really enjoy an amazing interview. You're going to learn a lot about vitamins, about nutrients, about supplements, about the difference that fueling your body in an optimum way, what it can do for chronic conditions in addition to just performance. Wait until you hear Frank's story. I'm so excited for this. So sit back, relax, enjoy the ride, and I'll see you on the other side. Frank Davis, thanks for joining us on Pickleball Recovery.
Hey, appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, it's great to finally meet you. Cali told me about you in January at one of the PPA tournaments, and she had busted out some, she was putting some like supplements in a bottle, and I was telling her about my podcast, and I was like, what do you got there? Because she's an amazing athlete, and you can tell, right? And she does those workout Wednesday posts on Instagram that I follow, and I was like, what you got going on there? Come on, tell. And she's like, oh, you don't know about these guys? You haven't heard of Optivida? And I was like, no, not yet, but you're going to tell me. So that was the first time she put you on the map for me, and then I went to your website to check out your products. I was blown away. But what I was really inspired by was your story, your personal story. So we're going to start there, all right? So I want to share with the audience just, kind of a synopsis, kind of like the, short bio about what it was like growing up, what it was like, what you were struggling with as an adult, and then what did you discover? And then what difference did that make?
Okay. Yeah. Well, basically, I was what would be considered a sickly kid. I had every childhood disease known to man: measles, mumps, chicken pox, you name it. I had pneumonia as a small child. And I look back and I think I was basically raised on antibiotics, and I'm convinced that it so suppressed my immune system that I used to joke candidly that if somebody drove by with their window down and had a cold, I would catch it. I just was so, it was just.
Like a catcher's mitt.
And yet I'm always what I can call a wannabe athlete. I was always wanting to participate, but constantly getting something that would throw me back, and then I'd have to recover, etc. So anyway, that's what I dealt with growing up. Then in my 20s and 30s, I ended up with hepatitis twice, mononucleosis twice. And then in my early 40s, I came down with chronic fatigue syndrome, which for a type A personality, a quote athlete, is a sentence worse than death. I literally couldn't go on a walk with my wife. I was just wiped out. We went to our condo in St. George. They have to make a bed in the back of the Suburban, and I would lay down while she drove. And my wife doesn't drive on the freeway. So anyway, it was kind of the point in my life. I said, I have to find an answer. I cannot live like this.
Totally.
And so I live in an area that is the hub of network marketing. Everybody has an answer. And I was willing to try everything.
That's hilarious.
I was taking black stuff that I had no idea that could gag it down, but nothing worked. I went to medical professionals. They would try and prescribe medication, antidepressants. I say, I'm not depressed. I'm discouraged. So, long story short, I ended up going to a symposium that was put on by a number of universities across the country, and it was entitled Foods as a Medicine. And they introduced this symposium by saying there had been more research done in the last 5 years than the prior 200 years, linking every known illness, every known disease to some form of dietary deficiencies.
Wow.
And so then the symposium went on to show all the research and studies showing what nutrients in foods prevent disease, what cure diseases, etc. It was kind of an aha moment for me. I said, oh, this is the answer.
Wow.
And I remember at the end of the symposium, there was a lady from a PhD from Champaign, Illinois, made an incredible presentation. At the end of it, I raised my hand. I said, I agree with everything you presented. My question is, isn't there a wide variance of nutrient value in foods depending on where it's grown, how long it's been in transport, whether you cook it or not? She says, absolutely. I said, so how do you know that you're getting the nutrients that you have just described are so critical for your immune system to either prevent or cure disease?
Sure.
I said, wouldn't it make sense if you could get it in a concentrated form, you could test it, and you knew that you were getting everything you were supposed to get? And she says, well, I'm a firm believer in whole food nutrition. But it was what stirred it on. I knew that I was not disciplined enough to get all the foods. And then it was a guessing game.
Yes.
Okay, I got these carrots. Where were they grown? How long have they been in transport?
Totally.
So I spent So anyway, that was I was on a mission.
Yeah.
I ended up meeting a lady, a registered dietitian, had her degree, master's degree in clinical nutrition.
Okay.
She was a walking encyclopedia and registered dietitians by training. The curriculum is sponsored by the American Dairy Association, American Cattle Association. They don't really so. She was out of the norm.
Right.
And
okay.
she was a firm believer in whole food nutrition. And,
nice.
But anyway, she had developed kind of for a company that she worked for a whole food nutritional product.
Okay.
And I ended up getting on that product. In less than 30 days, I was out of my chronic fatigue.
What?
In less than 30, and I'd had it for 9 months. And so,
wow.
And then I went for, and I felt so good, and I noticed a difference, and so I ended up basically hiring her, and I said,
"You're hired."
Yeah, I said, "Can this be?" Well, I asked her. I said, "Can this be improved? Is there?" Oh, she said, "Absolutely."
Okay.
Because again, she
Cool
was
that she was open to
formulating.
that.
She was formulating for somebody who had given her parameters, and everybody has price parameters, margin parameters.
Fair.
Basically, I said my first instruction to her: throw away the checkbook. This is not about margin. This is about my health, and my family, etc.
Okay.
I
Wow.
wasn't planning on doing this as a business.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what we engaged on. And then I had a contract manufacturer produce it. Well, I have minimum runs. So it was like I had to do 100,000 capsules.
Totally.
You know, or a million.
How big's my family?
Yeah. And my friends.
How long will this take me out to? What year?
And that's it. And so I said, well, I was so convinced if this could do this for me, it could do it for anybody.
Yes.
I went the following 12 years without as much as a cold. Never happened in my life. And so, you know, and then I just evolved and got, you know, that was my flagship product. And then I just kept expanding it. And I ended up investing into a technology that actually this registered dietitian found.
Okay.
And,
Do tell.
And it was one of these kind of sounds too good to be true.
Okay.
I used to believe that freeze drying was the ultimate way to preserve and reduce fruits and vegetables to a powder.
Yep.
Well, this was an infrared drying process. I flew there, spent the time with these two PhDs from Washington State University that developed it, became convinced, invested in it to take it commercial. And it literally is a technology that can take any fruit or vegetable, any food, reduce it to a powder form with zero loss of any nutrients, color, or flavor.
What?
And,
It's like George Jetson level future.
So they had a test done at Washington State University to take a strawberry.
Okay.
Now, a strawberry is high in vitamin C.
Okay.
But vitamin C is your most volatile of all vitamins.
Interesting.
So you subject it to heat, you do it, you lose it.
Gotcha.
You know. So anyway, they took it, all the drying technologies. They took it from freeze-dried, drum-dried, spray-dried, and then this infra-dry, which is now I've patented called Optidry.
Okay.
And
Here we go.
You would get as much as 80% loss of your vitamin C with these other drying technologies, zero loss with the Optidry technology.
I mean, that does borderline on unbelievable.
Yeah.
What a difference! Like that's the technology.
So that was the
missing.
foundation, and then we just continued to develop the product to where it is today. It has over 100 ingredients in there. We vet out every source.
Okay.
And of course, the technology that takes it from a fruit or vegetable down to a powder form.
Wow.
There is literally a pound of broccoli in every serving. But how do you get?
No, I don't even want to think of what it would take to eat a pound of broccoli like daily. No, I don't want to know.
And
You
8
couldn't
detoxifying
possibly.
greens. No, and
You can't consume that much raw food.
Right, and the what it does is we get it in a patented form of an extract to where you measure it based on broccoli on sulforaphane, which is the cancer-fighting compound. And so you would have to eat a pound of broccoli to get as much sulforaphane as we have in this product.
Wow.
And that's how so there is 100% of all the vitamins, the minerals, the antioxidants, everything from whole foods. And so we take away the guessing game. It's kind of your assurance policy that you're giving your body. You don't have to say, I just ate a good salad. I wonder how much nutrition was in there.
What did I get?
Yeah.
Yeah, what did I get for being good?
Yeah.
You know, because I want that sandwich over there that looks tastier, but I had the salad. But, you know, it's so funny you mentioned that because, like, just trying to track nutrition with apps, like aside from the macros of like, okay, calories or grams of fat, grams of protein, grams of carbs, when we get down into these micronutrients, there's just no way to know. Like,
That's it.
You have no, you're just guessing, did I get enough? I don't know. Maybe I did. I have no idea.
Well, the reason it's named Complete Essentials, because it is complete in terms of everything the body needs from those macro and micronutrients. It doesn't, you still need to eat, you still need calories, you still need carbohydrates, fats, and protein. But from a phytonutrient, vitamin, mineral, antioxidant, essential fatty acids, it has everything in there the body needs.
Amazing.
And in the amount the body needs to support that, all those bodily functions and immune functions, etc.
That is amazing. So tell me, like, what was the timeline you start working with the dietitian? When was that? And here we are, it's the summer of 2022.
I started in, let's see, It would have been, let's see, maybe 20 years ago.
Okay.
20 years ago.
Wow. You guys have been fine-tuning and developing and tweaking.
So that's when I
2
was
decades. That's
when
great.
I was struggling with the chronic fatigue, and then was able to get out of it.
So now I want the audience to know what kind of stud you are today in 2022. So I need you to brag, because you're a down-to-earth guy, but this is where you get to brag. So I want you to tell me how old you are and what you just accomplished in racquetball.
Well, I'm 76.
Okay.
And I'm in better health than I was when I was 46.
Amazing.
You know, it literally changes your DNA.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And so, I was mentioned earlier to you that everybody, it's not that I might look young, but I move young.
Yes. Ooh, well said.
You know.
Well said.
And so they watch me play
that.
basketball, or they watch me play racquetball.
Right.
And I'm faster. I played in the National Senior Basketball Championships, and the team that won was every single person there. They were all black athletes. They all had played pro ball.
Okay. All ex-pro athletes.
I end up on the all-tournament team, the MVP of the tournament, 5'6" white guy that didn't even start on my high school basketball team.
I was going to say, if we stood you up right now, like, I'm not a tall guy, but like, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. And
basketball?
So it was just like, these guys could play half-court ball, but so who awards it is the referees and the scorekeepers, etc. And the guy came up to me afterward and he says, "You were like the ever-ready bunny. You know, you just go, 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 go." And I had in fact, that I had a team. I had a big black athlete that was on our team that just kept telling me, slow down, slow down, slow down. Wait for me to get down there. And so, and then he wanted me to throw him the ball, and then he was going to shoot it.
Right.
2 days, and I called my wife and said, I'm not having fun. You know, this guy, take me out of my game. And so, after the second day there, he had some family situation he had to leave. So I thought, okay, I'm going to just play my game.
Play my game.
And I'm basically so much faster on full court. These guys can play half court. They just couldn't keep up.
No, because that's
and then I switched a few years ago and now play racquetball, and I'm going to start pickleball.
It's only a matter of time, Frank.
Yeah, but I played last year in the 75 to 80 category.
Okay.
And won the gold in singles, won the gold undefeated in doubles, and my double partner and I played a team who the one guy they told us was inducted in the Seniors Hall of Fame, Athletic Hall of Fame, had never lost a doubles match.
And you guys dethroned them.
We dethroned them.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yes. So it's like, who is this?
Who's this guy?
Who are these guys?
Who is this guy? Who is this guy?
And in fact, my partner, try this on, and with 3 matches to go, they played 2 games per match. Okay. With 3 matches to go, halfway through, he runs into the wall, broke his arm in 4 places.
Oh, dude,
we didn't know that, but he sat out for a bit, came back, said, we're not gonna forfeit. So he basically said, I can't do anything. I'll stay here. I can serve when it's my time. Just drop the ball and do it. But I ended up playing cutthroat, and we won that match. We had another match right after that, and then we had the last match the next day. Dude. And he went to the emergency room that night, called me Saturday morning and said, I broke my arm in 4 places, but I'll be there. And he comes in with a sling.
I was going to say he's in a cast or he's in a sling.
Yeah, he's in a sling. He's like this. And
we
took it. We went undefeated.
I love it. So. I love it. That's so great. You know, it's like you can't turn that off. You know what I mean? No. You're just like, no. I fully appreciate that story. That's outstanding. Wow. So, like, how old are you on the inside? Do you know? Like, because we were having another conversation about like biomarkers, like testosterone, and doing panels, right? So you got to tell everybody, like, now you've been living a lifestyle now for 20 years,
right,
where you're putting these ingredients, the right ingredients at the right amount into your body, living an active lifestyle, but putting the right nutrients in. What has that done, particularly as a man?
Okay. So,
let's tell that story, please.
Yeah, what you're referring to, I shared that I got in a mountain biking. I couldn't get out of my clips, fell on the concrete, tore my rotator cuff, and went through surgery. And I had the surgeon was a professor at the university, taught this, and he's a researcher, asked me if I would be willing to be part of a study.
Yep.
I said, sure. As part of that, he had me take my total blood profile, everything, because they want to see what factors into the healing process.
Yep.
I get a call from him a few days later, and he said, we got the blood results back. He said, I do have a question. He said, obviously, you're taking a testosterone supplement. I said, no, never have, don't plan on it. Why is that? He said, well, it's really elevated. Is that something bad? He said, well, it's just so unusual, we want to check some things out. So he ended up referring me to two of his colleagues that are urologists that specialize in men's sex health.
Yep.
And they had me undergo an ultrasound.
Okay.
And for something, anyway, then they set up a Zoom call with these two. I get on the Zoom call. The one urologist, first thing he said, you do realize you have the testosterone level of a 19-year-old.
Let's go.
I said,
let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah. And anyway, so he says, you obviously have some incredible genes.
Of course.
That your gene pool.
I did nothing to earn this.
Yeah.
I just inherited it.
And then
Must be the only thing.
Yeah, and then the next doctor came on, who was the head doctor, and it made the same comment.
So funny.
Then when I went under surgery for the rotator cuff, the anesthesiologist comes in, and first thing he says to me, I just looked at your blood profile, your results. He says, you obviously got a great gene pool. I didn't take the time to explain to anybody.
Everything you just told us.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I said,
you have no idea.
You have no idea. You would not want my gene pool. No. My mother died of cancer before in her early 70s.
Okay.
My father died of heart disease. My sister died of cancer. My brother had cancer, and I was the sick one of the family. I was, and so I'm healthier now than I was as a young man.
Amazing.
And my parents are gone. My siblings are, a couple of them are gone, and
But here you are, hard charging.
Yeah, hard charging.
Hard charging.
And I.
Amazing.
And when they're looking at my blood profile, triglycerides 46, my cholesterol 160.
I would love that number. Oh my gosh.
It was just like one after the other just said,
just off the charts.
So, from a physiological standpoint, I have the health of somebody 20, 30 years younger than myself.
Yes, you do. Quite clearly. That's amazing. So let's talk a little bit about your products.
Okay.
What you've been describing, the first flagship, is called Complete Essentials.
Complete Essentials.
And is that a daily powder? Like, tell us how
Absolutely.
What do you do?
You take that every single day.
Okay.
And what you're doing, as I
like
said,
you're taking
that's
a multivitamin, you would just take this.
Yes.
Is it in place of, do I need to take a multivitamin
You would
with
not.
this?
No. So, here's what you need to understand.
A little bit of a ripoff. Let's just
so
pull back the curtain.
99.99% of all multivitamins are chemicals. They're produced in a laboratory. Yes. They're produced in a laboratory.
Yes.
So I'm going to just give you an example. I'm going to say, anybody watching this, go look at what you are taking as a multivitamin. No matter what you think. And look at a couple of things. Look at your B6.
Okay.
Almost without exception, it will say, in parentheses, pyridoxine hydrochloride. Okay, what is that? Every vitamin in nature is a compound. It's a complex.
Yes.
So pyridoxine hydrochloride is petroleum esters blended with hydrochloric acid and processed with formaldehyde. That is your B6.
I don't want formaldehyde
No.
or hydrochloric acid running. No, thank you.
Oh, and then try this, B12.
Yep. Everybody
Almost
says.
without exception, it will say cyanocobalamin.
Okay.
Take a guess what cyano is.
Well, I've heard of this one thing that kills people called cyanide.
That's what it is.
It's funny they share a lot of the same letters.
Yes.
Can't be
So-
a coincidence. Oh, turns out they're the same root.
Oh, yeah, and then vitamin C.
Right. That's the big one. Tell people a little bit about that because they
Vitamin
probably
C,
don't know.
everybody takes. It's in everything.
Yes.
It's in your juices. It's
Yep.
in your fortified foods. It will always say
Always.
ascorbic acid or some form
Always.
of ascorbate.
Yep.
Well, ascorbic acid in nature, in foods, as I said, all vitamins are a compound.
Yep.
Vitamin C comprises of bioflavonoids, rutin, J factor, K factor, vitamin P. Ascorbic acid in nature is the outer protective shell of that vitamin, just like an egg shell is to an egg. You can't take, so what the chemical factories have done is they produce it synthetically
Yep.
from genetically modified corn syrup
You didn't
with
just say that.
hydrochloric acid.
It's like a swear in my house. Genetically modified corn syrup. That's like 4 of the worst words you could put together.
But
and that's what people's vitamin C
that's where vitamin C
is coming from.
And if you have university studies like Tufts University
Yep.
shows that if you're taking that in the form of your quote vitamin C in the form of ascorbic acid, it will actually create genotoxins that mutate your DNA. And also, it contributes to the arteriosclerosis, the hardening of the arteries.
Yes, which is one of the top problems as we age, right? In
Right.
the United States particularly.
So,
amazing.
This is so anyway, that is I am a vegetarian, I'm a vegan.
Yeah.
I avoid the synthetic vitamins
Yes.
more than I do meat.
That's a hot take.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
for example, you go
You're killing me right now.
No,
I'm just thinking of all the I have so many vitamin canisters, things on our it's just like this, they're strewn about on our kitchen counter, and I know at some level some of them are just junk. I just know it, right?
I have burst so many bubbles in the past.
That's what's happening right now.
No, I'm these people that are in network marketing. They said mine is all natural.
Of course.
It's this,
Yes,
it's that,
yes, yes.
And it is.
Sorry.
It's absolutely crazy because they'll look at them and I'll tell them, let's look at B6. So vitamin E.
Yep.
In nature, vitamin E comprises of 4 tocopherols and 4 tocoquinols. So there's 8 of them.
There will be a quiz. Say them again.
Tocopherols.
Yes.
And 4 tocoquinols.
Oh, that's so good. I'm going to say that 5 times fast, right?
Yeah, never mind.
That's a tough one.
Tocopherols.
But the point is.
Yeah. The point is that the chemical companies take 1/8 of it. Take the D-alpha tocopherol.
Okay.
And call it
the whole thing,
the vitamin. And what is
how
interesting?
do they get away with that? Okay, that's a conversation for
what is
another
interesting is that it's actually the D-alpha tocopherol. If you take it in that, it inhibits the free radical scavenging ability of the gamma.
Vitamin E.
So
which is why so many people take it.
Yeah. So
okay, I need a timeout.
Anyway.
Well, thank you for doing all the hard work to figure this stuff out and then shine a light on this for those of us who think we're doing the right thing, right? Yeah, I go on. You should see. I mean, our Amazon bill for supplements and vitamins is one of the highest monthly expenses in my house because we've been told that we need these things, that we don't get it in our normal diet. It's been, it's no longer there. Okay, I'm sold. I get that. it's not regulated, so I don't really know how to tell what I'm taking, or if I even try the whole food, what I'm taking. So it's a little bit of a crapshoot, and so it's really important for people to understand kind of the factory farming. It's almost like the supplements is also factory farming of the supplements themselves.
Yeah, I just mentioned the industrialized farming. What is basically ruined the nutrient value of our food.
Gone.
Well, the supplement industry is worse.
Sure.
It's the chemical industry.
Yeah.
It's the pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah.
It's all about money.
Yes.
And so people go into a store and they say, "Oh, here's vitamin C. It is, $15."
Right.
And I have a vitamin C separate from that is from organic acerola cherry, which has 1,000 times more vitamin C than an orange.
Wow.
Per gram.
Wow.
So, but it is a whole food. But 25% of that cherry is whole food vitamin C.
Wow.
I can buy the ascorbic acid from China because all ascorbic acid today
comes from
China.
This just
a
keeps
lot of
getting
it produced
better, Frank.
in non-regulated laboratories using municipal water with known contaminants. So I can buy that for $4 a kilo. I pay $116 a kilo for organic acerola cherry.
Because it's actually food.
Yeah, it's actual food. So obviously, mine's going to cost more.
Yep.
One does the body good, the other is toxic.
Wow.
And it's all cumulative.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. 100%. That word is something I don't think we truly appreciate. A lot of the guys who come to our tent for pain relief, they have overuse and injuries from cumulative overstress and not enough recovery time. And then one day something gives out, and they're like, I don't know how that happened. And it's like, we have this cumulative kind of impact by what we put in our bodies, and that at a subclinical level, that's manufacturing some dis-ease and then disease, and then finally it shows up on the radar, but it was cooking for a long time.
You got a
under the
perfect
radar,
analogy.
right? Just under the radar, and then bang, there it is. And it didn't just show up. It was a cumulative thing.
That's why people that get my age that think that they're, I've been healthy and stuff, and all of a sudden systems start falling
just
apart.
Shutting down.
I went to this basketball tournament I was telling you about, and we had a little get-together before, and everybody was talking about all the different medications they're taking.
Yes, that conversation.
I'm taking this for my my blood pressure. I'm taking this for heart. I'm taking.
What are you taking? Ready, go. It's like a circle group therapy.
I didn't want to get into the fray of it, but I haven't taken as much as an aspirin in 15
You're
years,
like,
20 years.
Nothing?
Yeah.
I'll pass.
There's
amazing.
Yeah, nature has created something that for nutritional intervention, there is always a solution that Mother Nature created.
Yes.
And the chemical companies are trying to replicate it because they can't patent an apple. They can't patent the.
That's exactly right. That's 100% it. Let's talk about Cali's new Cali Bar.
Oh,
so
beautiful.
It's out, right? It's official.
Yeah.
I didn't let the cat out of the bag. I see it over here.
Uh-huh.
She was beyond she was so thrilled and honored that you guys were collaborating together to create something with her name on it. It was really very cool. And so I was so happy to see it make it all its way, to the counter over here. We've got some samples. Talk to us, because we're all the people listening are pickleball players. So we're going to want to know about this bar. Tell us about it.
Well, I got Cali on the product I told you, because when athletes, actually high-performance athlete like Cali, when they're going 8 hours or 7 hours, you create as much free radical activity in your body as cancer. And if you are not addressing and giving your body what it needs, what we're talking, that cumulative effect, you'll see high performance athletes, ultimately dying or getting stuff that you would, well, they're so fit. And that's why I told Cali, in those days, you have to take more than one serving of this.
I got it.
Your body needs those nutrients. They need the antioxidants. They need the,
because you just tore it down from the inside out playing for 8 hours.
Yeah.
I like to think of my body like a hot rod car. So I try to prepare it for the track, which for me is the pickleball court, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to take it out on the track and I'm going to see what this baby can do. But I know I am burning that engine hard. I'm redlining that engine on the track, and I know I'm redlining my body on the court. And I don't think people fully appreciate how much they're tearing up their insides through high performance. They think this is like the fountain of youth. It's like, yes, but it's also, if you don't recover from that, it's really just the fountain of destruction. You recover off the court. You don't recover, you don't heal on the court. So you have to put everything back in that you just tore down while you were out there. If you don't do it, it's counterproductive, right?
Perfect analogy. I actually use the analogy. I said most people, we were created with an 8-cylinder engine. Most people are operating on 4 and have no idea they have that because they're giving 4-cylinder fuel to their body.
Yes.
And so it just puts along, and I say, I don't have the energy, I don't have the stamina, I don't have this. But when you give your body the proper nutrients, you'll be amazed at the energy, the stamina, the ability to have to perform at peak levels.
Amazing. That's so exciting. So let's get into the bar itself. What's in it?
So, Cali, when we got this, I said, is there anything that that you really would like?
Yeah.
There were 2 things. One was an electrolyte drink that was not sugar-based and was high performance.
We're talking about you, Gatorade. I'm calling you out. You are a sugar bomb.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to do that.
And the other was, she said, a good protein bar, a clean protein bar, because on the go I need something to just, I need it with some energy in it. I need the high performance protein. So, I'm a fanatic. I'll admit it.
Mad scientist. You're like, wow.
So we created this bar, and let me just tell you what separates it from other protein bars.
Yes.
So obviously, all the ingredients are vetted out in terms of where they come from and the purity of them.
Nice.
The protein is an organic rice protein.
Okay.
Blended with a non-GMO pea protein.
Love that.
In the ratio that gives it what's called the PCDAA score of 1.
Okay.
The optimal score of your amino acid profile.
Okay.
So you can't get better than that. Well, it's
like
amino acids that do the job to rebuild your body and all this stuff. Secondly, I added a patented ingredient called velocitol that enables your body to take that protein and literally get double the effect of what you would normally get out of. So if there's 11 grams of protein, in terms of your muscle synthesis and your utilization of that, you're getting the effect of taking 22 grams of protein.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that
before. And I have studies, clinical studies showing, the increased performance, taking a whey protein and then taking this protein with a velocitol in terms of athletes, in terms of their stamina, their thrust in jumping, and all sorts of,
as measured by
but then the muscle synthesis, etc. So it's a phenomenal, again, plant-based product. So we have healthy fats in there.
Nice.
We have the sugar that's in there comes from honey and other things that are going to help natural sugars for an energy boost. The complex carbohydrates, and so you're getting energy, you're getting stamina, and you're getting the building and recovery from the protein.
Yes. I don't think people truly realize how important protein is for recovery.
Yeah.
They probably because this is my journey. It was like, protein. If I want to be a weightlifter, I need to take more protein. And then I was like, in a training program, and the guy's like, no, protein's for recovery. That's how you rebuild everything you're tearing down every time you exercise. And I was like, Oh, nobody told me that. I would have taken it seriously a long time ago because I'm not looking to be a bodybuilder, but I'm looking to be able to go back on the court the next day and play and not have this cumulative fatigue and tear down in my joints and in my muscles.
Well, and an athlete and people that are high performance athletes, or even, most of the people that I think are probably more than just a occasional pickleball player or whatever.
Yes.
They're into this, and they're
no such thing
taxing
as
their body a little bit.
Pickleball player, Frank. It's an addiction. It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are. It's all overuse.
And the older we get,
Yes.
the more protein we actually need, because our body doesn't process it the way it used to.
Is that why it takes us longer to recover?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
It takes it, and so that's why you've got to give your body. I would say an athlete should be taking a minimum of 3/4 of a gram of protein per body pound.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, and maybe a little more.
Yep.
And
the program I'm in right now is it's 90%. It's as opposed to 75%. They're like, you need to get up to 0.9
grams
per pound
of body pound.
Yep.
So
Yep.
somebody
like
myself, I've got
I'm
150 pounds, so I need to be getting 120 grams of protein.
Yep.
Well, I don't eat meat.
Right.
So
where do you get it?
And I tell you, the beauty about the rice protein and the pea protein, they have clinical studies shows it will equal or outperform whey protein with no downside.
Yes, whey protein.
Whey protein has, any dairy-based protein or anything does have a downside to it. Your plant-based protein, it's hyperallergenic.
Nice.
It's the most digestible of any proteins.
Yep.
So
I always say no way. That's just no way. Like, would you like this whey protein? I'm like, no thanks.
no
way. Thank you very much.
There you go.
Yeah. Outstanding. So where do people find Complete Essentials, the Rehydrate, the Cali Bar? Where do they go online?
Our website is www.optividahealth.com.
Great.
I think we have a code like Cali 10.
Mm-hmm.
If they put that in there, they'll get a 10% discount on anything.
Okay. Maybe we can create a pickleball recovery code like PBR.
There we go.
We do that with a lot of our partners.
Sure.
We create a code like that and give them a discount for finding them through this. So that'd be great. Okay.
We'll do that.
Okay, awesome. You heard it here first, folks. Frank, I can't tell you how enlightening of a conversation this was for me personally as an athlete. I'm thrilled about the journey you've been on and that you are now getting to share that journey for others' benefit. Thanks so much for being on Pickleball Recovery.
I love it. Yeah, that's my mission now.
Amen.
Okay.
All right. Woohoo!
Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening. Do you want to know the number one mistake picklers make that leads to increased pain, soreness, stiffness, and injury? Just head over to www.pickleballrecovery.com and download my free guide to playing with less pain and more enjoyment. Listen, pickleball makes us feel young at heart, but not necessarily young in body. So go download my free guide at www.pickleballrecovery.com. See you next time.